We've just gotten a brand new Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 clip. There was a full-on trailer earlier this week, and this isn't the end for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 news. It's got us very excited about Season 2, and what else might be in store for us on June 15th. The stars of the show also beamed down, quite literally in holographic form, to MCM Comic-Con London, to give us a little peek at what the second season has in store for us in Episode 1. From interviews with the cast, to some questions even from myself, which I got in trouble for, more on that later, what did we find out? As always, we're here to break down this brand new clip from the second season of the show. It shows the courtroom scene of Una's trial from the very first episode of Season 2. But as always, if you want to stay up to date on the latest things from Trek Central in the prep for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, then hit that subscribe button here. Oh, and great news, we're about to start streaming on twitch.tv. Click that link in the description to catch some fantastic live content on that channel very soon. Hopefully you'll come and follow us over there, it's gonna be exciting. For those who may need a refresher, Una was taken into Starfleet custody last season. This was for being an Illyrian, someone with augmented DNA. Now as we know, augments in Starfleet are not allowed. This continues to be law not only up until Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but also by Star Trek Prodigy as well. So how does Una get out of this one? Well, the Judge Advocate General's office has got a key moment to play. Take a look in this clip from The Next Generation.
Convened on Stardate 42527.4 is to determine the legal status of the android known as Data. The Office of Judge Advocate General has rendered a finding of property the defense has challenged.
Verified. Lieutenant Commander Data. Current assignment, USS Enterprise. Starfleet Command Decoration for Valor.
Your Honor, we'll stipulate to all of this.
We've had numerous legal episodes of Star Trek in the 60-odd year history of the franchise, give or take a few years. Some like Star Trek The Next Generation's The Measure of a Man was very hastily put together, but it did feature the Judge Advocate General's office on a starbase, which is pretty cool. Now, the original series, which of course takes place after Strange New Worlds, had multiple court-martial scenes set on board the USS Enterprise, or room at a starbase. Well, Strange New World is going a step further and taking us to Starfleet Command's Judge Advocate General's office on Earth. How many times can I say that name, honestly? Now, the set of this is absolutely amazing, though it is a redress of a Federation HQ set from Star Trek Discovery. However, that set is a reuse of the Star Trek Discovery Season 2 Section 31 ship set, which itself is a reuse of the USS Shenzhou's bridge from Discovery's first season. They've definitely gotten their money out of that set, and it makes perfect sense. Interestingly enough, the courtroom used in the Next Generation episode, The Measure of a Man, was also done on a reused bridge set. It reused the battle bridge set of the USS Enterprise D, which was reused numerous times from cybernetic labs to other ship bridges. Pretty cool when you think about it. I will say this courtroom design is very interesting. Having a big hole in the middle of a room, which is probably not ideal, but I suppose this is the easiest set redesign they could do instead of making an entire brand new set for a single episode. The use of the opulent wooden trims and even some murals of the founding members of the Federation circling the room really goes to show life on Earth in the 23rd century. We haven't really seen much of Earth during this time period, but in a post-war period and entering the TOS era of the 2260s, this is definitely what I would expect. Another little detail in these sets is that during these proceedings, they're the light which everyone who gives a statement also has to touch. It's during this court-martial in the original series episode, Court-Martial, it's also similar to that. Whether this light is to verify the user's identity, or it checks if they're telling the truth, or it's some sort of swearing in, perhaps on the Starfleet or Federation Constitution, who knows. It's a neat little addition to the set which ties together much with the original series as well and further connects that. Certainly shows the designers and production designer is paying attention here. Okay, we've got to talk about the dress uniforms. I know all you uniform fanatics want me to talk about these. Here we go. We're definitely moving closer to Star Trek the original series. This era is creeping closer and closer. Though Star Trek Discovery gave us similar medals to the original series on its uniforms, Star Trek Strange New World is going one step further. The dress uniform is very much an update of the dress uniform of the original series. These uniforms are in your normal division colours, though adds to the lighter blue of medical for Dr. Mbenga during this era, instead of just sciences and medical having the same blue. Or it features some intricate trims. Also with the weird medals attached to their uniforms, I'm sure we'll learn more about those as well. However, a somewhat new addition to this dress uniform is the use of shoulder ranks, something which was experimental with the Discovery era uniforms of the 2250s. and seems to be still in play in some aspects of Starfleet heading into the 2260s. So it seems like between now and when we next see these dress uniforms in the original series, the intricate paneling down the front and the collar will remain. Collar will remain, it's a bit confusing. These ranks on the shoulders will be removed in favour of something else. We also have the judges of a court in uniform similar to Admiral April from Season 1 of Strange New Worlds. This is most definitely a flag officer uniform, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving this uniform. Star Trek Discovery gave us a new look for Tellarites with tusks. Other new shows like Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Lower Decks, as well as Star Trek Prodigy, have shown Tellarites with and without tusks. Well, Strange New Worlds has introduced a new Tellarite character, Space Command Representative Zeus Klago. I hope I pronounced that right. This Tellarite is more like those seen in the original series and Star Trek Enterprise. Just like with the Klingons we saw in the trailer, Strange New Worlds may be showing that previous designs still exist, enhancing the diversity of these species, and it makes sense. What is very interesting, however, is that Zeus Talag is referred to as a Space Command Representative. During the original series of Star Trek, Starfleet wasn't really nailed down as early as you would expect, so we had people referring to this entity by different names, such as Space Command. So this is a way to make the two names being used more, and I guess it fits with the lore. Captain Patel asked Lan Noonien Singh about her last name, and if she has any connection to the augment Khan Noonien Singh, who we know so very well. This is interesting to throw a spanner in the works of the Una court case of genetic manipulation, but also brings up some interesting thoughts and probably answers a question many of the fandom want asking. It seems like Khan is pretty well known at this point, maybe not what he looks like, but at least his name. It'll be interesting to rewatch the original series episode Space Seed with Khan after season 2, especially the adventures of Kirk and Lan that will go on. Why isn't it brought up that they know a descendant of Khan but isn't a power-hungry tyrant? You know, something that's worth mentioning. The crew of the US Enterprise beamed over to London at MCM Comic-Con London to talk about Strange New Worlds Season 2. For those who are used to a virtual performance, this tech isn't that revolutionary, but this is one of the first times it has been done for Star Trek, and hopefully they continue to do so, and it gives us international fans something to do outside the US. Yay! It adds to the fun of the event, and it's kind of cool as well, and probably cost-free. Well, less costly than flying them all over. Celia Rose Gooding, who plays Uhura, was present at the event. She got to speak on not only the legacy of Uhura, but what she's continuing to bring to the role in the upcoming second season. She said, "It's been amazing. I think I have a very particular situation in reprising an iconic legendary character and getting the opportunity to showcase more of her character." This is basically Celia Rose Gooding speaking about the legacy of Uhura and how it reflects in modern Star Trek. Of course, we know that season 2 will take a look at Uhura's past. She basically joined Starfleet to get away from Earth after her parents and brother died in a shuttle accident in Nairobi. Uhura somehow is transported to the shuttle accident and the aftermath. We don't know how this happens, whether it's an alien interference or something else, we'll have to wait and see. What is interesting is that a short story for Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, established a similar backstory for Uhura, but this time it was her first love who had been killed and she escaped to Starfleet to get away from that memory. Strange New Worlds had used ancillary beta material to be the basis of their stories before, with the finale of season 1 being similar to a comic series called Early Voyages, which had Pike using a time crystal to see what would happen if he never leaves the Enterprise. This could be another similar situation, but hopefully they don't rehash the ending of season 1, that would weaken it a little bit. Strange New Worlds' first season did not have a specific episode for our pilot of the Enterprise, Erica Ortiguez, played by Melissa Navia. Season 2 is looking to rectify this. Even our first promo of the second season was of an Ortiguez-centric episode. Well, Melissa talked about what we can expect from Ortiguez in the second season. She said the following: "Fans will get to see what the backstory is about and why she is so loyal to her crewmates and her relationship to Captain Pike. We're definitely getting a lot more backstory."
You gonna start the engine sometime soon, Erica?
Don't worry, I did this 100 times during the war.
A recent trailer had Ortiguez mentioning of doing extreme shuttle maneuvers during the war. This is most definitely a reference to the Klingon Federation War in season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. We might even see what Ortiguez was up to during these events, which I'm definitely excited to see, and maybe it might connect to the Klingon episode we get as well. In the trailer, we did see what looks to be a TOS-era Starfleet runabout piloting through a planet and under heavy green weapons fire. This could be Ortiguez helping to get refugees off a planet being attacked by the Klingons. At this point, this is just a theory crafting, but it would make cool sense at the same time. Or maybe it's Gorn, who knows? With the gut-wrenching departure of Hemmer in season 1, we knew we were going to be getting a new chief engineer. The final episode may have teased Scotty, but it's still too early. We know that Carol Kane was going to be the chief engineer called Pelia for quite a while. We only recently got a glimpse of what kind of character she is in the recent trailer. However, Ethan Peck had some interesting things to say about the new character. One thing I loved so much was getting to work with and become friends with Carol Kane. It was super fun and exciting. I'm excited for fans to see episode 5. That was Ethan Peck giving us all our subtleties of episode 5. So what might this 5th episode of Strange New Worlds Season 2 have in offer? Could this be the episode where we really start to like this new chief engineer of the Enterprise? Will we have to keep watching to find out? Yes. Hopefully they don't do a hammer and get rid of her by the end of the season. That'd be rather boring.
I love a crazy theory.
Now, I told you I got in trouble for asking a question. Well, it wasn't really trouble, but you know. Obviously we're at Trek Central present during the MCM London Comic Con event. It's up the road for us, of course we're going to be there. And if you have been following our socials, you would know we asked a very interesting question to the cast of Strange New Worlds. Watch this.
Hi, Jack from Trek Central. I've got to ask, Season 2, James T. Kirk, what can you tell us about the legendary captain walking on this bridge without spoiling it?
We were specifically told not to say anything. We can confirm that he existed in Season 1. That we can confirm.
I'll tell you what, Paul Wesley is a great guy.
He's the best. Yeah, that we can say.
Lieutenant Kirk, what is he at this point?
I'll hang out with Paul any day. That's absolutely. Are you a test as well? Like a big test.
Yes, that was me at Comic-Con, I know. It's very interesting that Kirk is a subject the cast are really not told to answer any questions on. We are quite worried that Kirk has been introduced too early in Strange New Worlds, and we've made articles and videos on this before. I encourage you to go and read them. Now, a number of fans have also expressed this as well. This is meant to be the Captain Pike series. Did we really need Kirk? So obviously we may be reading into it, but them not answering questions and Paul Wesley being upgraded to a recurring guest in Season 2, how much will Kirk interact with the US Enterprise before his captaincy? We saw a scene of him interacting with Uhura on the Enterprise, and obviously this has to be some sort of temporal hijinks of Lon because they're in the past. Where does this leave Kirk and Pike? Fans have pointed out that in the original series episode, The Miragery, when someone asks Kirk about Pike and if he has met him, all he says, "We met when he was promoted to fleet captain." So how are they getting around that? Obviously it doesn't say we only met when he was promoted to fleet captain, so it can work with a little bit of wiggle room and writing, but it does seem to be more like canon bending to breaking it in any case. And Akiva Goldsman, who's sort of a showrunner of A Strange New Worlds, recently said they're playing with canon a little bit. That may worry some of you. We'll do a shortened video on that soon to explain more about it and why I wouldn't be too worried. The intention may be that they only met once, but it doesn't completely break what Kirk says. Obviously we want to have more adventures of Strange New Worlds and not of the original series. We've already had the original series, it's literally starting the original series. And Trek could do so much more of new and not rehashing the old. We'll have to keep watching to see where Strange New Worlds takes us for the foreseeable future. In the meantime, Season 2 of the series is on June 15th via Paramount+. Are you going to be watching? Let us know in the comments below. So that was our first look into the recent clip of Strange New Worlds Season 2 and some comments from the cast beaming down to the London Comic Con last weekend. Are you looking forward to getting a courtroom style episode in Strange New Worlds Season 2? And whatever else the season might throw at us? If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, or it says down there, so you never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper my friends, goodbye.